Jasper is not a sweet summer child. I'm sorry. Jasper has been jaded, slammed on. Horrible, horrible, awful things have been done to him to the point of which I am surprised that Jasper has any sense of humor left in his body whatsoever. But the fact that he does is an amount of perseverance that I doubt I could ever achieve.
I think he needs to call in for a sick day.
Oh, now you show up. I keep telling you to shoot me with the tranquilizer gun, and you know what you do? You leave me dangling. You leave me dangling.
I didn't use it this time.
Did Jasper Jasper just die from a compliment?
The one time I begged you to shoot me. Yeah, say all the time. Every other podcast, you just go shoot me every time I have a wee bit of a hissy fit. The one time I give you the green light. You said nope. You said, I got teased.
What, is the bootleg tranquilizer gun not good enough for you now?
The bootleg isn't even good for a boot.
All right, well, I will take it away.
I have an honest question for you, Spyro. Is your bootleg gun an actual Nerf gun, or is it like the dollar store version?
There you go.
No, so what it is...
It only half fills the vault.
It's like a little wooden chest with like magnets on the top and bottom lid, so it like kind of snaps shut. So I just open it, and then when we need to shoot him, it's just snap it shut.
Okay.
We work with what we can.
Should I start the show?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever. Start the show. Rippity lippity doodly doo blippity blippity blue.
Jasper?
Yes.
Sounds like steam escaping. We heart you. I'm starting the show now. So, hello everyone, welcome to Reviewers Web. I am informed today that Bernie Critic will be joining us soon, TM. And Anon may or may not be joining us depending on how the D&D game, was it, in the other room is going? I highly doubt that this episode will require Jasper to be fitted with a straitjacket, so Magical Starfish, I will put $5 down on that bet, and if Jasper doesn't need a straitjacket, you owe me $5. In the meantime...
Clean out your wallet, sister!
I am joined here with my lovely, lovely host, there's Bernie Critic, and we're going to talk about going to seed, i.e. where all of the Vietnam War era memes are coming from My Little Pony. So, it's an even episode.
Those are actual things?
Yes, those are actual things. So in the meantime, we have Bernie Critic starting us off at the bottom because this is an even episode. So, Bernie Critic, who are you and what do you do?
Brony Creek.
Could you guys skip me for just a second?
Okay. Moon Knight, who are you? What do you do?
Who am I? Oh wait, I know. I'm Moon Knight. I do I do covers. I do My Little Pony reviews. I do some game reviews, movies, and I'm here with this lovely bunch of people, ponies, whatever everyone is. I don't judge. To review the episodes, and yeah, I mean we've been a little bit behind, but I mean the season still has hold. So, aside from the Rainbow Road Trip, I don't think there's anything like that we missed so much. So on to Master Cup.
Hello, everybody. This is your super awesome ace analyst, Master Code, the one, the only super awesome ace analyst that reviews everything pony, from the comics to the show to the books and everything in between.
Hello, this is Jasper the Pizza Pawn. I do the comics, I do the audio editing, and I get grumbled when Goldie doesn't shoot me with the tranquilizer gun the one time I actually ask for it.
I have to point out that I've heard that Ari scream before, and it's freaking amazing and awful at the same time. Anyway, Spyro.
I thought I was the only one that heard it.
No,
It's the
it got broadcast live.
Yes, well, that's what happens when you kind of broadcast in the middle of D&D. And Golden, it won't work anymore! I am offended! I am boycotting the You suck!
Also,
Love you
I'd
too,
just like to
Jasper.
make a public service announcement that is a scream of joy, and we are not murdering anybody live on camera.
I, however, will
Not
make no
yet.
such statement yet. Anyway, Insane Spyro, go ahead.
Fair enough. I am Insane Spyro, the greatest dragon in all of gaming, reviewer, let's player, game pundit, and the artist of this channel.
So, Insane Spyro, when are the rest of us getting stained glass windows?
Maybe tonight. I don't know. You'll have to stick around to the end.
All right, Golden.
So I'm Golden Fox. I review ponies. I stream games, and I don't know what else I'm doing with my life. So there you.
Does anyone really?
And I am Fiora the Tank Girl. I write Fallout Equestria Dead Tree. The next chapter is actually coming out tomorrow morning. Not a spoiler, it's release date. I didn't say anything about what's in it. And I analyze fandoms. My latest piece of analysis is a request from Ciderfest, which is going to be analyzing the differences in pony holidays and our real world holidays. In the meantime, Bernie Critic, are you actually able to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am. I apologize for causing that delay. I had just gotten on and I wasn't expecting to immediately have to go in. I wasn't quite ready.
Well-
So anyway, I am the Brony Critic. I am a fan analyst and reviewer. I specialize in reviewing fan content and fan material. I am also a regular panelist and convention goer at TruckCon and will be at BronyCon this year. I am also a film critic for the Emerald Rangers website.
Okay. Well, Mr. Bernie Critic, you've seen the episode, yes?
God, I have seen the episode.
All right.
Tell us what you think.
2 minutes. Let's hear it.
So, my opinion may be just a little bit biased because my panel for TrotCon and BronyCon this year, I'm working with Drew Flashy, and we are doing a timeline of the entire series. So we have spent the last 3 months watching every single episode of the show about 3 times each to pick up every detail. And this episode, which came at the end of our viewing session, single-handedly almost ruined 3 months of work for us. So, I hate this episode with a fiery passion. However, on the quality of the episode itself, it's fine. It's okay. I think there's actually a comic storyline that's almost this exact plot to this episode. I can't quite remember it, but it's
The Sasquatch.
yeah, the Sasquatch comic. I think is almost an exact duplication of this episode with the exact same moral and plot, which is fine. I like the comic stories and I like the adaptation of it, but it's fine. It's a regular everyday episode. It's hard for me to give that to like. I'm very emotional about this episode because going to seed, cursed be its name, is the most frustrating episode for me right now, and I can't talk about it from a place of genuineness on its own merits, but I'll try. In that I love the setup and the relationship between Apple Bloom and Applejack. And I think it is just a genuinely pleasant moment. And it seems like I get, apparently it was almost going to be called It's the Great Seedling Applejack, which is also a great reference because this is very similar to It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, which is a similar setup of a storyline as well. So overall, I think it's an okay episode. It's certainly not the worst episode. It's not the best of the series either. It's just a standard average Applejack episode. I just have a particular hatred and passion for it that's outside of the episode itself. Moon Knight.
How do I say this? Like, I think the only funny parts are either Big Mac because, well, he's being a slave here, or the cats. Like, aside from that, it's just another story of, oh, is this thing real or is it fake? Are the old mares just playing around with Applejack and Apple Bloom? I kind of get why some people would like it, like that story arc, but aside from, like, as I said, the cats and all the comedy that is around it, aside from that, the main story plot is just, I would say, because they don't even see the thing, they don't even see anything related to it. For all we know, it could be just Angel messing around with the cars or some other bunny around. So yeah, it's just them showing more of the lore, I guess, because it's supposed to be based on one of the Nordic gods or whatever, the deer. So yeah, it's certainly not from Pokemon X and Y, but I didn't really like it. The first time I saw it, I was just honestly bored and didn't really put much attention. Like, watching it now was a little bit different because it was with you, and I also got to enjoy it more because of the cats and everything else. But honestly, like, the main plot, it's just not really that good.
Finish?
Yep, on to you, Master Code.
I don't really have a lot to say on this episode other than that it was kind of forgettable, kind of in the middle of the road, mostly because nothing really happens. I like the the bonding between Applejack and Apple Bloom. That was kind of cute, just to see the two sisters going back and forth, trying to set up all these traps. That was kind of cute. I like the lore. That was kind of interesting, where you got a Dur that's going around and making farms plentiful. That was kind of cool. I feel sorry for Big Mac. I'm struggling to things to talk about. I think this is a step backwards for AJ, because I'm thinking all the way back to episodes like Applebuck season, and it's like it's like this confluence where you got this once in a lifetime opportunity to get all these apples at once, and yet let's just mess around. I get the moral about never letting go of your childhood, that's fine if it were executed better, but it just, plus Goalie Delicious was kind of wasted. It was just she's just there for exposition when you could have just had Granny deliver the exposition about the great seedling. And I like I said, I really don't have that much to say, so on to you, Joey.
First of all, we have confirmation. Tyndogga is the Easter Bunny.
So, who has their nets and traps ready?
Second of all, I'm honestly split about the episode. I mean, on the one hand, we got a nice, wholesome moral about you're never too old to do the stuff you love, and really nice sisterly bonding between Applejack and Apple Bloom. But on the other hand, we have Goldie Delicious, who kind of annoys the heck out of me throughout the whole episode. I mean, yes, it's fun to get the Edophilia all excited, and that's great, but maybe you could actually, maybe, I don't know, do something productive? Seriously, hey, wait up. Seriously, she tries to buck a tree. She couldn't even land one apple while Granny, he got like 5 or 6 with one kick. And of course, the ultimate kicker, poor Big Mac needs a vacation. Somebody just give the big red dum-dum a hug and give him a vacation, because, quite frankly, the boys need the breaks they don't deserve on the show.
I think in My Little Pony it's a little bit mixed. Like it's the guys that actually get the slavery and everything.
I actually made a joke before the show, but I don't know if I should really say it on stream.
Entirely up to you.
Do it.
Oh, screw it, I'll just say it. Why'd she have to bring the cats? The cast is 80% male. We don't need any more pussy.
Oh my god.
I'm just going to point out he messed up his own joke.
Okay, retake. The cast is 80% female.
No, you already lost it.
Get one chance. There are no do-overs in comedy.
Can't I just have one?
No.
Yet.
You only had one mulligan.
You had one chance to say a terrible, awful joke.
Well, I didn't. Well, I was debating on saying the awful joke, but you all had to go and say, do it.
That was
So
Insane
makes you-
Spyro. I said it was up to you.
That was
that
me.
makes you-
Actually.
So that makes you responsible for my irresponsibility.
And
You're
one
welcome.
time, Insane Spyro.
Livid.
These guys know what's going on. These guys get it. You can't blame me because it's your chat. Your chat came here for a reason. They know the reason. It's them. So I will, but I have more. So don't worry. So yes, musical Firewind and Von Holtz. While I am once again disappointed that the old goat man sits in the green room, and I am quite annoyed that we have to deal with this rather than what they've done to him. I do have more to say on it. But yes, I am annoyed that once again we're getting an episode like this when your big ultimate final boss is just sitting there crying in the corner and you have to go and comfort him and give him a glass of milk and say, don't worry, later half the season you could get it. But going to the episode though, real thoughts. It's boring. It's boring, really boring. Like, for me, I just don't like Applejack episodes. For the entire Apple family, they can't hold an episode on their own. Especially like Applejack and Apple Bloom, which are arguably two of the most boring. Like, when you have a polar opposite, somebody to diametrically oppose them, like with the Kieran episode, we had Fluttershy and Autumn Blaze reining Applejack in, or in the fashion one, we had Rarity reining Applejack in, or flip side to the Cutie Mark Crusaders, you have Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle, or sometimes Diamond Tiara or that Griffin Gabby helping Apple Bloom along. They work better when they have somebody to play off. But when it's all country, all apples all the time, are we gonna like do some apple harvesting and Big Mac can do the apple harvesting? It's boring. You can't hold it up on your own, Applejack. This is why I consider a background pony. And so that kind of already just made me quite disinterested because it's purely an Applejack episode and she can't hold it. But then the other thing is, we don't know whether the Great Seedling's real or not. We're never gonna know. And being your final season, you could have maybe shown a shot of it at the end, whether it's truly real or not. And then, like, you have the other thing of poor Big Mac. Poor Big Mac. Like, you can see the man is suffering. He is, like, dying. Don't you think maybe you should forget about your legendary deer Pokemon and look at your brother and be like, our brother seems like he's dead. Maybe we should, like, focus on him and not on the Pokemon, because, like, he's clearly not very well, and there's clearly something that's making him not very well, and it might be to do with the fact that he is literally doing the work of 5 people. For shame on you. But I did like the cats. The cats were the funniest part, and their humor, like stealing the pancakes, was nice. On to you, Golden.
Well, I can definitely agree that poor Big Mac was written as a punching bag in this episode, and knowing very well about me, I don't like it when characters are written as that. You already know how I felt with Dashby, with how she was written in Super Speedy, or how Spike was written throughout the majority of the series, especially in Season 4, but I didn't let that get to me. I still enjoyed this episode. I thought it was cute. I like that the two Apple sisters spent some time together, and spending time over what is equivalent of Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy. It allowed Applejack to step out of her comfort zone when opening up her young experience of doing what Apple Bloom was doing, and actually spending some time with her and refreshing their experience and making themselves happy. I do think the episode could have been written better, but as is, it's just an episode that's just meh for the most part, and I could just watch the next episode without any issue to take. So I end my piece there.
Oh, it's my turn. All right.
Yep.
I don't hate this episode. Its timing is ill-placed, being at the final season. However, the fact of the matter is, I want to award the prop comedy used throughout the episode, ranging from getting Golden Fox and I to literally cringe in pain at the very beginning, to Big Mac just getting his face covered in syrup, or Big Mac's rampant running through like a fake Yeti on some found footage tape. The prop comedy here reminded me very much of seasons 1 and 2, and that's been something that every time that it comes up in the show, I'm like, okay, they still know what they're doing, at least somewhat, when it involves prop comedy and physical pain. However, I took this as an allegory to what your parents go through for holidays to maintain the myth of, say, Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny or whatever holiday you happen to be celebrating that has some fictional character that your parents have to pretend to be and keep you in the dark over. Your parents don't sleep. That's why on Christmas morning they don't want to get up. That's why on Easter they're like, thank God we can go to church and sleep in church, at least from a southern perspective. So the fact is that that's what I took this as, was just literally a, hey, this is what it's actually like to be a parent trying to keep a magical thing alive for a child. And after that, I could just kind of sit back and watch it. I'm not upset. It's just kind of a meh episode. It's not an episode that I'm going to go back to and be like, and this is... No, it's not going to be like that. It's not an episode that affects any of the panel work I've been doing, except for the one I mentioned at the start that I've started working on this weekend for Ciderfest. That's the only panel it actually affects to any amount of degree, and now I have to research Norse mythology in the process. So, thanks.
Lucky you. Lucky you.
Hey, I volunteered to help with the panel you're working on with the other guy, and you said no, so not my problem.
Fair enough.
Anyway, So that's what I thought of it. Now, does anyone want to highlight any particular thing about this episode? Floor is open. I see Shoujo blinking repeatedly, followed by Golden Fox and Burning Critic. Go ahead, Shoujo.
Here's the thing about this episode. It would have probably been way much better if this happened earlier on in the seasons. If it was like in season 3, 2, any one of those before this, it probably would have been an okay episode. Not mad, not bad, but it would have just been okay, because there still would have been the mysterious factor to it, because we would have been questioning too, as if it actually does exist. But after seeing the episode, after seeing Campfire Tales, after seeing Pony Point of View, after seeing all those episodes about random pony lore and folk tales about stuff that doesn't exist, but it turns out it does exist, I'm going to have to say, I'm pretty sure 99% that the Great Seedling does exist. So just to leave it all ambiguous at the end is just so dang confusing. And another thing is that I just really, really hated this episode because AJ always gets a short end of the stick. Whether it be like dumbing her down or like making her seem stupid in a sense, because she's not. She's like one of the really smart character in this series, but she's played down to an idiot that's she's kicked to the side, and all the stuff that's built up for her has been washed away, so we can have her be the idiot. And just the cherry on the top of the crapsicle is that when she was younger, she tried to catch the Great Seedling just like Apple Bloom was in this episode. The stench of hypocrisy is just foul, almost as much as probably how much Big Mac stinks. I'm done.
Alright, Golden.
Well, trying to process what Shoujo said. How do you guys feel about AJ's parents actually being seen just briefly?
That was like one of the
in
only
one of
good
the
points
flashbacks?
about the episode.
That was a treat.
The only thing I wish is that they'd actually given them a couple lines just to like hear their voices again and have them, because this might just be a me thing because I remember people by voice and therefore my memory is never visual based. Hearing their voices again would have made the memory more complete for me.
It's wonderful and infuriating.
Was interesting.
Oh, I love the characters. It's the implication of them in that particular flashback. That entire flashback is actually tremendously infuriating for me.
Well, it did confirm that Big Mac did get his praise from his dad, so that's
It also showed that Applejack, or that Apple Bloom was born before Applejack got her cutie mark.
anyway. Golden, did you have like something else, or you just wanted to?
Well, I do remember Keyframe was talking about this during Where the Apple Lies, wondering why the parents were nowhere to be found. Because when you do put it in that perspective, it seems more like up until season 7, there was no like idea of a character of these two parents written in until up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And as I just bring this up, that's just a particular thought that I may have had. It's very vague on my end. I don't take issue with them not having any line of dialogue, just that they were there and it's a nice little callback. I just thought that maybe this would add on to, something to discuss here.
Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts on, seeing their parents again? Go ahead, Jasper.
I kind of wouldn't have mind seeing if we saw one of the parents actually pulling her out of the hole.
Child
mean-
is stuck.
From the way that Applejack and Granny Smith described it, like she spent half a day in that hole. That kind of sounds like they knew she was there, and it's just like, ha ha ha, she's gonna burn to death.
Our child almost died.
That I will kind of agree that does seem like child abuse.
Ponies are dicks!
You're only learning this now?
No, but I like thinking out loud sometimes.
What's that, Winona? AJ fall down the well? What? No, not the well. No, the pit. Oh no!
I was gonna say, hey Jasper, welcome to MLP Friendship is Magic. Where have you been the last 9 seasons?
Ugh.
Buried under piles and piles of pizza jokes.
I have something. How many of you guys were in scouting?
Raise his hand. Eagle Scout.
Eagle Scout. So, did you ever go on a snipe hunt?
I've been on.
No, but I know. I've never been, but I know what that is, and yeah.
I don't think I have, but I think I know what it is.
This
So-
actually reminded me a lot of that, and it is one genuinely nice thing, because I remember being Apple Bloom, like being dragged around in the middle of the night by my fellow scouts to look for a snipe, because, you know, it's the fun gag. Or the time where I set a bunch of traps for the Easter Bunny and was convinced I'd be able to catch him if I woke up early enough.
The one thing I remember most about my scouting experience was a majority of the older scouts decking our tents. I don't remember trying to catch a snipe.
So,
Right.
just for historical reference purposes, an actual snipe comes from India. They're now extinct because they were hunted to extinction by the British, but anyone who could actually hit one while it was flying because of how fast and agile they were in flight was referred to as a sniper.
I want to know what kind of traps you set around Easter for the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Bernie Credit out there with a freaking bear trap.
Yeah, tell us about
Well,
that. I want to know more about that.
to be fair, this is also the same kid who parents had to reveal the reality of Santa Claus, because I was writing letters to Santa asking for enriched uranium and nuclear powered satellites. So my parents didn't want me on a watch list.
Okay, well,
Okay, what kind of shopping list do you have?
So everyone, this is how Bernie Critic almost became the nuclear scout.
Yeah, the scout who made his own backyard
Backyard nuke.
backyard accelerator.
How old were you?
You know,
7 or 8.
that now does raise a question, like, how many of those letters to Santa do you think gets read? Because obviously they're all just addressed to the North Pole, and the post office just, like, throws them away, but just think,
No,
like,
no. So for reference purposes, just for the kids, the U.S. Post Office actually has a dedicated team of 200 people who sit in a post office and read all of those letters.
Yep. And to answer the question, I was about 7 or 8, and I was obsessed with physics, specifically quantum mechanics, when I was about 7 and 8.
So part of this reading all of those letters, by the way, is to compile a list of the most popular requested gifts for each year to hand to the parents, so the parents know what to get their kids. But this is actually a dedicated effort that costs thousands of dollars.
And all this came from the okay kind of episode, this whole fun conversation. Just like that's what this episode is about, and it's it's reminding you of those goofy, silly things you did as a kid that were very clearly, you know, in retrospect, I laugh and giggle at the stuff that I used to do. But, you know, it was fun at the time. We remembered it. And mostly my parents had to reveal the truth so that the FBI didn't come knocking on my door and I could one day go on an airplane.
Okay, but going back real quick, seriously, I gotta know, what kind of traps did you make? Seriously, what kind of traps did you?
I did the whole shoebox thing. I realized
Classic.
I realized that they had to open the fence or the gate, because if the Easter Bunny had to be big enough, he had to get over the fence. So I tried putting like sharp things in the metal fence at the top of the fence, so that when they put their hand on the fence to climb over the fence, they get caught on them. If I could get like fur or something.
I still have concerns about your shopping list.
I think we all have concerns about Bernie Critic's Santa wish list. I think we've all been put on a list now somewhere. In the meantime, does anyone else have another point they want to bring up about this episode? Go ahead, Chojo.
This just came to me like a few seconds ago when I looked at my 3DS. Since we now know that, or at least hypothesize, even though I say it's true, we at least have the hint that the Great Seedling exists, and a few of us were talking in the chat about how we're going to talk about Xerneas in this episode. I wonder if there's an Evital-like entity in Equestria.
I mean, they come from Norse mythology, and like Xerneas, I'm just gonna call them by their Pokemon names because everybody knows. Like, Xerneas is the deer of life, and it grants like life and fertility to the 9 realms. That one you can get away with in My Little Pony, but I don't know how you get away with Yveltal and Zygarde, because Yveltal is basically like Saint Peter at the door, and it stares into your soul, and if you're deemed unworthy by the Eagle of Asgard, then it eats your heart and casts your body down to the Norse version of hell, Nibelheim. And as for the snake, as for Zygarde, I don't think you could do that in My Little Pony either, because the snake is the son of the god of chaos, which means that Discord has had his end off with somebody, and it also means that the snake is going to seduce the firstborn of every lovely woman.
Still, I'd just love to see like an MLP FIM version of Evital. Artists, get on it!
No, I want to see Ty and Doggy Easter Bunny.
We all want to see Ty and Doggy Easter Bunny.
Bernie Critic and do me and Elmer Fudd gear hunting the Easter Bunny.
Bunny!
That could be funny.
So anyway, going back to, I do like the moral and the allegory for this episode about never letting your childhood die. You know, I'm good with that. That's great. You should never let your childhood die. Never fully grow up. But the way it could have been executed better is, you know, the fact that this is an apple farm. You know, that's their primary crop. I mean, they got carrots and other stuff, but apples, that's their primary business. And if all the apples go ripe at one time, you know, you gotta get them down, or, you know, they might go bad or whatever. So, you know, if you let your crop go bad, you're not gonna have a good time. You're gonna be in debt or whatever. So, if AJ was more like, okay, Apple Bloom, how about we make a deal? You help us work with the confluence during the day, and then at night, the next couple nights, we'll set a trap or two. That way, that's a little more pacing, where it's like, okay, AJ knows what's important, but it's like, hey, you know what? I want to make my little sister happy as well. So, wouldn't completely save the episode, but it would have felt more realistic.
Well, that was what her deal was, that if Apple Bloom helped in the day, she would help at night. Then the writers just forgot that line and decided to do whatever.
So here's something I would like to point out. If all the apples go ripe all at the same time, Applejack doesn't have a bigger market with more customers. She just has more supply. Doesn't that mean that they make less money?
Oh my God, you're absolutely right. It's an oversaturation of the market.
I mean, kind of, but what she said, what the legend was, that they have ripe trees every day, like all year round. So
Yeah, but they just had it all at once. And, hold on. We figured out what kind of apples they have.
Well, in previous episodes, don't they have? I think
They're golden delicious apples. They're literally golden delicious apples. That's the only apple that is shaped and colored that way. Every other apple has imperfections or different shades of orange, red, blue, yellow, and green on it. The only ones that are purely red are golden delicious. I don't know why they call them golden delicious, but that's what they call them. And it takes it takes 3.5 months for an apple tree to be ready for harvest. That means they harvested everything all at once.
every 3 months.
But they haven't been doing that before. They've been doing it daily harvest of small amounts. So therefore, didn't they just oversaturate a market in which they still only have the same number of customers?
Please don't think about this. I've been thinking about this for about 3 months now.
I'm a scientist.
Almost as long
This
as
is
an
a
apple
thing.
harvest.
I am a scientist. This is the thing I research.
She's gonna kill us with science.
Economically, they just ruined their farm.
The
To
thing
be
is,
fair,
though,
if we follow the rest of their patterns, they've already been doing that. It's amazing they've even lasted this long.
I think it's just because they actually just own the land and don't owe anybody any money, and it's just a matter of sometimes they're like, well, I guess the only thing we're eating for the next month is apples.
Well, it's not like they apple buck every single day because trees are gonna grow apples at different times, and it's only through spring through like late summer, and then after that,
August through October is the primary apple harvesting season.
Is it?
Yep.
I mean, the other thing we don't ever think about, though, because you say that she ruins a farm, we don't know how many connections she's got. If Rarity's got, like, a fashion shop in Canterlot, she could be like, hey, Rarity, y'all got any customers in Canterlot that would like to buy apples? And she's just got, like, this drug train of apples going all over Equestria.
Then again, apples do eventually go bad. So if they have that big old surplus, and what if they have not a lot of ponies are buying. It's like they have this big old surplus of big old pile, and it's like, oh, it's gonna die, and they're all gonna go bad in 2 months. So
Yes, Bronze, there's something called a blue apple. I don't know why. In the meantime,
Pony economics is confusing.
anyone else have anything they'd like to bring up? Alright, I suppose we're going to move on to Q&A. It's not terribly long today. Mari of Rockport wants to know, is there going to be fan art of the Brony critic going to seed over the destruction of his panel?
do it.
Do it.
That's entirely up to Insane Spyro and Brony critic.
Hannah, I'd like to buy a vowel.
So he wants Brony Critic, like, just destroying the episode?
Apparently?
Well, like, just physically taking a hammer to a film reel or a cassette tape?
Flamethrower?
Flamethrower? I don't even know her.
I'm gonna say possibly not on that one.
Karu Mari the Bat wants to know, did anybody find the episode unpredictable, or was this simply by the book, oh look, it's Applejack?
It was by the book, oh look, it's Applejack, another Applejack episode.
Another one where they shoehorned in stupid Applejack.
I don't know about stupid Applejack. I'm leaning more towards stupid Goldie Delicious.
It was fairly predictable.
Jasper got it.
I mean, I would say
Okay, maybe not stupid Applejack, but hypocrite Applejack.
I would just say the Background Family starring Background Pony.
Mari of Rockport would like to know, is going to seed a Christmas episode? No, it's a harvest episode. Like, we have a harvest moon. Look it up, it's a thing. Magical Starfish, do we all think, what kind of vacation do we think Big Mac deserves after this?
A vacation from the family.
Like an all expenses paid trip to like a all inclusive 5-star resort.
I think that's too fancy for Big Mac, and Lotus and Aloe can just take care of him for 2 days, and he's good.
No,
Discord.
after all he's done, after like nearly being killed, no, he gets like the full works.
Discord taking him to that cabana they went to in Dungeons and Discord.
Now wait, we're ignoring the obvious. He goes stay with Sugar Bell for 3 weeks.
Oh my!
Well, we'll do one better. We'll send him and Sugar Bell to the cabana.
And a big old sign that says, "No girl apples allowed."
Big Mac and his Big Mac having a good time.
Okay, Kumari, the way I read your name is Koi, because that's how you spell koi in Japanese. Moving on. Who is loonier, Insane Spyro or Jasper? I'm gonna go with Insane Spyro, because while Jasper has his things, Insane Spyro does technically draw some deeply disturbing stuff you would expect to come out of the Dark Knight version of the Joker.
This is true.
I'm gonna say yes.
You have never seen my Dark Knight stuff. Like, I'm gonna say this. Do y'all know what a cordyceps fungus is?
Yeah.
Oh God!
Making up words.
No, and I feel like I'm gonna live a long, happy life if I don't now.
I'm just gonna like put something in the art chat for you, as like a little taste, which you can show at your own discretion.
Can I tell them what it is? Can I says?
You can.
A cordyceps mushroom is a special type of fungus that infects an animal's brain, forces them to go to a high point, and then it grows out of their skull and then bursts to go into other animals. It's basically, so you know The Last of Us? The Last of Us, the zombies in that are based off of the cordyceps mushroom.
No, The Last of Us is a bad game, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
Basically, it's Parasect without the insect underneath the mushroom.
Oh dear God.
Next question.
But anyway, like, I made a cordyceps pony species, and they're alive.
So, last question. What if the Great Seedling will make an appearance in the final episode to help defeat Grogar?
Then congratulations, Xerneas Peach Go-Go.
Congratulations, you guys were playing the long con and we didn't see it coming.
That would be the ultimate Deus Ex Machina, and in this show, that's saying something. If a character that doesn't even show up, that's vaguely mentioned in one side filler episode, is the way they resolve the final big bad guy, that would be such a kick in the balls.
All right.
Yep.
So, Insane, I do believe you have artwork to upload for us.
Yes. Well, I mean, first of all, there's like 2 that I drew a while ago, and I've got a lot better since then. So you can have those haunting your nightmares. That's when you go into
So
Dark
go
Knight
ahead and
stuff.
upload what I'm supposed to show the stream for this week. And in the meantime,
Oh dear God.
Okay, let's
The-
see. Oh dear God, why?
the announcement that I actually have is that 2 weeks from now, when we do our next episode on July 27th, my wife Spitfire will be joining us, in addition to Deckard Spade will be joining us. He's another pony content creator that
The evil queen.
smaller creator like EG Studios and Aria, but he'll be here as well.
Okay. Jasper, I need to ask you a question. Is your D&D, is the D&D done?
Yes, the D&D is done. Why do you think I'm screaming off the top of my lungs?
Okay, that's great. You need to go get Aeon and bring him here now.
Oh, this piece of artwork's for Aeon, isn't it?
Well, I'll upload the one that I did a minute ago, but the second one is Aeon. Yes, Aeon needs to come here.
Okay, why do I have to get Aeon?
I don't know. He was in your house for D&D or something.
He is nowhere near my house.
Yeah.
Can
he
anyone
doesn't
magically
live with
summon
Jasper.
Aeon of Dreams, apparently?
Let me get the demon circle ready.
So tell us the story and set it up for us.
Okay,
So-
once upon a time, there was a little... I did not why!
This one was just like quite a few weeks ago now, because we've been behind, but happy birthday, Golden Fox.
Oh dear
Sorry,
Jesus.
what?
I
Golden,
Oh my
blink
god,
twice
the
if you want us to call the police.
I have questions that I don't want answers to. Okay.
I have many questions.
Spyro, sometimes you produce wonderful images. Other times you produce cursed images. One of these seems to be outnumbering the other one. Are you okay? Do we need to call a therapist?
No therapist has ever stayed around more than a week. There's no therapist. I'll just like listen to the voices in my head, and they listen to what I have to say.
Is it weird that I think the cordyceps ponies look a lot less weird than that thing?
No, it's not. Please, next image, sir. Happy birthday,
I'm
Golden.
serious,
The
Golden.
next image is
Blink
Aeon.
twice.
We need Aeon.
Well, I can't get Aeon here at this very moment, so you may as well show it off, and then we can hit Aeon with it next week.
You see, like, I want to, but I want to hear his live reaction.
Well, if you want it so much, why don't you marry him?
I'm doing
Because
everything.
it's one of these things where it's like, if you don't see it at that moment, the magic is lost.
Yes, Protective Services. I would like to report a leotarded dragon manhandling a golden fox.
Oh, there's Aeon.
One sec.
Hello, Aeon. I have something for you.
Could you say that less creepily, please?
That wasn't creepy. He was just showing his flirty side. Be
I was
tolerant.
gonna say, this is Aeon and Insane we're talking about.
All right then.
I'm just gonna put
Aeon
I'm
says
just
Alright,
gonna
then.
put
Aeon
Aeon
Senpai,
and
I got something
Insane.
to show you.
I'm just gonna put Aeon and Insane in a room for like a weekend, and just call it and just make sure it's a honeymoon suite.
I have no problem with that. But here you go. This one took a long time. It was
Sorry.
at the end of it, it was 129 layers because I had to lay each rune in individually.
Master Code,
Really?
help me, I'm
Okay.
scared.
I holds.
Alright, come on, Spyro, where is it?
Well, listen,
Oh,
it
God.
can't get that much worse, can it?
Oh!
Oh god, that's awesome, dude. That is cool. I'm saving this right now.
So Aeon of Dreams now has his stained glass window. That's awesome.
Yes.
Nice, that's cool.
I see
Thank
why
you.
this took so long, because you're talking about every one of those runes in the summoning circles had to be inlaid individually.
Yes. And there's several. There's one in the bottom left with everybody's mark. And the actual main circle, if you look very carefully, is the ancient Alacorn alphabet. And if you look at all the runes, you'll notice that they spell out everybody's names. Like if you look at his shoulders, you'll be able to kind of make out the words Aeon and Bliss near his
I
right
see
ear.
that.
Yeah. So like each rune is also a letter.
No, that's really cool and that's really clever.
Now,
Thank you.
now I'm gonna spend like 3 hours looking for Fiora.
It's not Fiora, it's Sunrise, and it's on the right hand side near his wing.
Yep. Never mind. That would explain why I would be spending that much time looking for Fiora and not finding it.
Here you
Alright, so what's next?
That's it. It took so long to do that one. That's it. That's the
go.
end.
Make like winter and wrap up.
Okay.
But I will say that there is also it's going to take just a little bit longer. There is going to be an alternate version of that, which is your demon one. So all the circles are going to be red, and there's going to be a couple of demonic runes.
Ooh, I
and
like
you're obviously
this.
going to have your horns.
Yes, I like this, Eddie.
That's very cool and very sweet of you.
Got new wallpaper.
Yes, thank you, by the way.
As I said, sometimes he delivers amazing stuff that we're all like, ooh, and other times we're like, oh god, I need a therapist.
My eye.
Wait, are we on? By the way, are we live streaming right now? Just
Yes, we're live.
Oh, okay. I know. I just want to make sure so I don't make a joke that violates the guidelines or something.
I understood that you were still sick, so I didn't expect you to show up this week.
Yeah, and it was less that I was like sick, and it was more that like I was out with long story short, so I don't do a TLDR, but I needed a car, especially for work, so my parents were just like, okay, text. Every car selling place had a different problem, so my parents were just like, hey, we're just going to fly you home and buy you a car, and then you can just drive it back down to Texas. Is that good? I love road trips, and I like going home, so I got a new car, and I only just got back here, like, a couple days ago.
It's fine. I understood that you were either somewhere between getting a new car and still dying, so...
Yeah, no, I'm good now.
Anyway, so we're going to close out now, folks. We're going to start with Brony Critic. Brony Critic, what are you up to?
All right, everybody. I am the Brony Critic. You guys can follow me on Twitter at the Brony Critic. You can also find me on YouTube. I have recently joined up with the Emerald Rangers website, which is a review website, as their primary film critic. I am currently prepping for TruckCon. In fact, the reason I didn't show up for the viewing of the episode, one, I'd already seen the episode 3 times today, but that's neither here nor there. But I also ended up...
So I guess I'll have to depart for now, but it was fun. Definitely talk more.
Gets to return to the ether.
Well, as I was saying, I am currently working on 2 panels for TruckCon next week. Hope to see some of you guys there, if you guys do show up. I will also be going to BronyCon at the end of the month. I finally found a room. Or I'm hopefully found a room, and I do have a ride there, so yay! We're going to be doing a series of equestrian events, which is going to be our timeline video. Our timeline panel, me and Drew Flashy, we're going to do it at TruckCon, and then re-release it at BronyCon. And then I have the Brony Critics Guide to Criticism, both of which are going to be in the main hall at TruckCon on Friday at 5 for the series of equestrian events, and at 12 at noon on Saturday in the main hall. So I hope to see some of you guys there.
All right. Shoujo, are you up to anything?
I can say that after coming back from a vacation about like a few weeks or so ago up in the north and just relaxing and just like staying away from social media and all that, I think I'm actually back and I'm actually doing a few things. Me and a collab partner are working on doing a collab review of For Whom the Sweetie Belle Toils, and I don't know how long it may take for that to be done because the script is done, but we need to record our lines. My partner needs to give me his lines, and he may need to give me his vectors, and I need to just do a lot of stuff with that, so that may take a while, but I am doing that. I got a few reviews scheduled, working on the scripts. One of them may be like a quick re-entry into doing reviews, like I talked about when we reviewed the Smokey the episode with the eggs, and Garble being a good character. And probably a few Let's Plays, a few stuff here and there. And I may also be actually trying streaming because during like Steam sale, I got like Psychonauts, that one old platformer game by Double Fine Studios that I may try seeing if I can stream on it. And also, even though it may be late, because E3 is already over, I was planning on doing top 10 games that were released or talked about that may be coming out at E3 that I'm interested in possibly getting. So be on the lookout for that. But that's it for me. Moon Knight, up to you.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
All right, Master Code. Moon Knight's stepped away.
There we go. Thank you all for joining us. This is Master Code, your super awesome ace analyst. As for me, I'm mostly just working on the next Analysis Anarchy episode, and I was in the last episode. In fact, I was a key component. I symbolized all the things of like anti-establishmentarianism and how the working class in Equestria. I was a very important character in that episode. But anyway, I'll be working on that, and probably the next thing will probably be either a review on season 9 episode and or working on BronyCon vlogs after that. Anyway, on to you, Jasper.
Yes, the world would have crumbled if not for Master Code's one solitary line.
See, he
It-
knows.
Yes, I do know. Anyway, anyways, this has been the Pizza Pun. For the next few weeks before BronyCon, I shall be finishing up comic commissions, working on more TF2 audios and a script for an audio drama I'm a part of. And other than that, just trying not to lose my marbles. But look at the company I'm with. It's a losing battle. It's a losing battle.
Jasper, this is you we're talking about. I thought you didn't have any months to begin with.
Just remember to put your marbles in the same place. You know,
Mr. Spyro,
like
if
a
you
lockbox or
please.
something.
Spyro, please save us. I can't believe I had to say that statement.
Well, I'm Insane Spyro, the greatest dragon in all gaming. And what I'm doing is I have finished, nearly, it's just going to be rendering later tonight, the review for Cadence of Hyrule. It's good. Bloodstained is coming, and I'm going to be streaming more Bloodstained this week once I upload part 3 tonight, because that's fantastic. And there will be a Crash trilogy coming, like a set of 3 videos about... It's kind of like a review, but also a series, because while I'm doing it, I'm also in the actual online tournament, and you know, I don't want to say why I'm the greatest dragon in all of gaming, but I'm just going to put this in general.
Oh, what in general?
No, hold on. I mean, it's going in art chat, but you know, I don't want to say that I am good, but I will say that I'm the bloody best.
You're
In the
350. You're 350th of the best.
Yeah. In the entire world.
That's nice.
More people live in my hometown than like, or that's about as many people as probably live in my hometown.
Golden.
Give me a second.
All right. Well, we're gonna give Golden a second. Hi, everyone. I am Fiora the Tank Girl. I'm your host. I have a couple of YouTube videos coming out next week. One is a review of Pathfinder Kingmaker. The other is a analysis of... I'm just going to say it out loud. It's literally a miniature science video where I try to figure out how tall a Space Marine is in 40k.
2 feet tall.
I also have Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Redhurst Academy of Wizards Dungeons and Dragons, played with my subscribers and run by Moonhoof and Orcs Winterhelm. And then on Wednesday night is the official Fallout Equestria Dead Tree game, run by the people who made the tabletop game. Those are both at 9 p.m. on Tuesday and Wednesday night. And lastly, tomorrow morning, I will be releasing the next draft chapter for Fallout Equestria Dead Tree, as well as tonight at midnight I'll be working on Chapter 35 for the very same piece. Chapter 35 is almost, well, not almost done, it's about halfway done. It's going to be a long chapter. Anyway, you can check those things out on my YouTube channel and my FemFiction, as well as everyone else's YouTube FemFiction, DeviantArt, or Twitch, whichever links they've provided for me. You can see all those listed below. So I'll see
MySpace?
I'll see all of you in about 3.5 hours for me getting intoxicated.
All right. So I hope to get at least one MLP review done. I have yet to work on another installment of Returning to Pride Rock, which is essentially my little marathon of reviewing all the Lion King movies, because that was a part of my childhood. I do plan on streaming every Friday. I'm not good at explaining things when it comes to live stuff. You guys can just piece it all together there. But thank you for joining.
Awesome.
Whatever Massacre said, he was very faint over there. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and stop here.
Good night, America.
Live long and propane.
Sweet dreams, Equestria.
And remember to always praise Luna for me.
Drink
Praise
more
Twilight.
Ovaltine.
Good night, everyone. Anyone else have a final word they want to throw?
I love
Yes. Persnickety. Because nobody uses that word anymore.
Dior, you should know that's like very impossible to happen because no one can actually throw any final words because they're just letters and
We're
people that
ending! We're ending! We're
Well,
ending!
I mean, if you physically, like, carve the word out of wood, then yeet it across the screen at somebody.
I mean, you know what? At BronyCon, I will determine if we can actually throw words or not, because I'm just going to pick up the first person I see whose name happens to be Word and hurl them and see if it works.
Hey,
Good
are
night,
you
everyone. I'm
to
going to jail.
Are you going to TruckCon this year?
I mean, I'm like one of 6 community guests at TruckCon. They have a very short community guest list. I'm just looking over going, why is this list so short?
Well, it's also because a lot of people are going to BronyCon this year, but next year, TruckCon is going to be the largest Brony convention on the Eastern Seaboard, or in the East, and it's going to be the oldest.
Yeah.
More people should show up by then.
It's not even on the Eastern Seaboard. It's just going to be the most eastern one, except for the new one that's starting, Sequestria. But it's literally just going to be one of the only ones that's east of the Mississippi.
I love Easter.
I'm going to do so much flying next year.
You're a unicorn, not a Pegasus.
I'm not even a unicorn!
Okay, then you're a diamond dog.
She's an Earth fool!
I'm with Jasper. I'm a dirt horse.
Dragon?
Dirt horse. Good night, everybody.